Okay, family, we got some exclusive footage that I just dug up on the internet right here. It says Hollywood Insider exposes the film industry. It's going to get really in depth about how celebrities sell their soul. Honestly, I didn't really watch the video like that, so let's just get straight into it.
A darkness has fallen over it.
Yes. Worship Satan.
People aren't witches, they're Satanists.
I'm totally convinced they're Satanists.
You want to sell your soul?
What do you got?
Women, money, fame?
I bet you'd be willing to sell your soul for that.
You gotta want it so bad. I mean, so bad that you'd sell your soul for it.
Would you sell your soul to the devil for that?
You sure you want to sell your soul to this devil kid?
Somebody sold their soul to Satan to get the grosses up on that.
Do actors really sell their soul for fame? You have major stars that you've heard about in the news and you've seen on television and film. They truly are Satan worshipers. Hey everybody, this is David Heavener, and you're watching End Times Productions. The Hollywood Agenda.
If you're wondering who he is, because we do like to get our information from pretty credible sources, David Heavener is right here. It says he's an American singer, songwriter, director, actor, composer, producer, and writer, specializing in low-budget features, boom, 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 bap. So he's been within the industry. He has multiple films, as you guys can see right here. So he knows what's going on when it comes to the entertainment industry.
The number one agenda, and I'm not going to call this agenda, I'm going to call it a tactic, is to destroy the family. If Hollywood can get to the family, which they've done very successfully, you take out the father, which they've done, then you start working on the children, and then you got a big mess. And so they've destroyed the family the past 20, 30, 40 years in Hollywood. The final blow is going to be to get to the children. And if you look at places like Disney, Nickelodeon, even Netflix, they're definitely getting to the minds of children. The reason is because they're hitting young minds, and they want young minds to believe this is the way life is. And if this is the way life is, it's probably the way God wants it by design. And so that's what, it's like if you have a film where everybody's cussing, where everybody's smoking dope, you grow up thinking this is what people do, and this is acceptable, and this is, it's all about numbing down and dumbing down the young generation so that when they grow up, they do not have the tools to discern. The difference between old Hollywood and...
Yeah, so basically just through the films we watch and the movies we watch, is constantly searing our conscience as to what's right and what's wrong in the life that we're supposed to live, rather than the life that the devil really wants us to live. It's a matter of searing our conscience.
Quote, the new Hollywood is the old Hollywood, like guys I worked with, like Martin Landau and Tony Curtis and some of these guys, they still had a consciousness and a respect for faith. They were still tapped into the Judeo-Christian system. Okay, there was a lot of movies that came out during their times. Ben-Hur, the Ten Commandments, still was about the Jews, what the Jews went through. The Old Testament. Nowadays, the younger actors, they don't have a clue about that. It's almost like they're soulless. It's almost like they have no spirit. I look into their eyes and I don't see anybody. Nobody's home. Why is that? Because through the generations, the young people, the young actors, have been fed counterfeit. They've been fed lies, and so they don't even know what the truth is. So they're walking around almost like zombies. To me, that's the difference between the old Hollywood, the new Hollywood.
Does Hollywood discriminate against Christians?
Hollywood discriminates against true Christians, okay? Not the counterfeit and religious Christians, which is most of the Christians in Hollywood, okay? They don't discriminate against the fake religion, because the fake religion actually helps promote the devil's agenda. who they do discriminate against are the people that are telling the truth. But let me say something to you, and I say it humbly. They can't discriminate against the true child of God, because a true child of God has the power of God in them. So what happens in Hollywood, I've seen Satan run in fear of the true child of God. Okay? So forget about them discriminating.
Very true, 'cause I know there's scripture in the Bible. It does say that basically let your actions be so good that when the enemy does try to speak against you, they end up looking like fools. Because when people look at you, you're basically blameless. So I understand that's why I understand what he's saying about the true child of God can't necessarily be discriminated against because they have God living within them.
They're scared to death. So why is it okay if Hollywood disrespects Jesus? Well, in their mind, why is it not okay? I mean, it's a system that's owned by Satan. So actually, is it not okay? To them, it's a very good thing to disrespect Jesus. The second part of that is, why is it okay to glorify Muhammad and Buddha and all these other, quote, God?
Real quick, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. But another way I reason around the disrespect of Jesus worldwide or in films and all that is just the fact, bro, like, since Jesus came, he was disrespected to the point of being murdered in the most gruesome way possible, spit on, insulted. He had to carry his cross to get crucified and then crucified on the cross. People hated him because of his light. People were so dark, they hated the light. And with the light, you get exposed. So, but if they hated the real living walking Jesus while he was here, I believe that, people are going to still continue to do so. People that don't like the light.
Or Christ-like figures, and yet do not adhere to the teachings of Christ and do not follow the living God? Well, because it's a system owned by Satan. Satan doesn't want us to know the truth. The only truth is Jesus Christ. I am the truth. I am the way. I'm the only way to the Father, the only living God. So Hollywood's going to say, sure, go after Buddha. Sure, go after Muhammad. Sure, do all that other stuff, because it all goes back to the pits of hell. The only road to heaven is Jesus.
Do actors sell their souls for fame?
Do actors really sell their soul for fame? Okay, that's a two-part question. First of all, most actors that go to Hollywood sell their soul because they want to be famous. Okay, now, what does that mean to sell your soul? It means to compromise. It means to side with evil because you're not siding with God. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of actors in Hollywood that call themselves Christians, and some of them are, okay? But in order to adhere, to conform to the rules of, quote, Hollywood, you're going to not side with God, and you're going to automatically side with the devil, because that's the system in which that Hollywood operates. Now, that's one side of it. So that basically everybody sells their soul when they go to Hollywood because they want to be loved. It's a very carnal business, okay? The other side gets a little deeper. It gets a little more complex, okay? You have major stars that you've heard about in the news and you've seen on television and film. They truly are Satan worshipers. They truly have not only sold their soul to Satan, but they've merged their soul to the satanic rituals that you find in Hollywood. And by the way, satanic rituals they have all across the country and the world. So two parts. One is everyone sells their soul if they're not on the side of God. The other one is the other avenue is not only do these people sell their soul, they merge their soul to the devil himself and participate in the satanic ritual. Is there any truth to program multiples in Hollywood? The answer is absolutely. Why is that? Because there's program multiples participate in the satanic ritual. Is there any truth to program multiples in Hollywood? The answer is absolutely. Why is that? Because there's program multiples everywhere, okay? In churches, in Hollywood, in Middle America, they're everywhere. Now, the agenda of a program multiple, or not, it's not a program multiple's agenda, it's the person who programmed them, which is usually involved in the satanic church, is to further the devil's cause, okay? Now, the reason that program multiples exist in Hollywood is because the camera is a very powerful tool, that if you can get it on camera, it goes out to millions of people and they can see it. So the answer is yes, of course there's program multiples in Hollywood.
I was just looking up right now what program multiples are, but I'm pretty sure he just explained it. Let me run it back.
Millions of people and they can see it. So the answer is yes, the devil's cause, okay? Now, the reason that program multiples exist in Hollywood is because the camera is a very powerful tool, that if you can get it on camera, it goes out to millions of people and they can see it. So the answer is yes, of course there's program multiples in Hollywood.
Okay, so basically he's saying that maybe there are some certain satanic rituals that are being filmed on camera. Like there was one time that Taylor Swift was actually doing a satanic ritual on stage that people were just unaware of. And just through watching it on film or things of that nature, you're able to be programmed through watching that film. That's what I gained from the program multiples. But other than that, for the most part, he was talking about how people are selling their souls and how if you're not siding with God, it's good and evil. If you're not going to side with God, you're essentially siding with the devil, because you may think, oh no, I'm going to just side with myself, but that's what the devil wants, because you siding with yourself, you're basically siding with your ego, believing that you are God, which essentially you're siding with the devil, because that's the exact teachings of Satan, is that you are God, you can do what you want, you make up your own rules, you determine what's right and wrong, when that's not the case. God determines what's right and wrong, because if we all determine what's right and wrong, nothing is really right or wrong. You get what I'm saying? So you can never tell someone, oh, what you did was wrong because it says you, but what I say, no, it was right. So that it literally just holds no line as to what is right or wrong. And essentially, that's selling your soul, because you're willingly taking the side of the devil, and the devil's going to hell. You know what I'm saying? That's his end, and Jesus is here to save souls. So it is what it is, man. It says, what good is it to sell your soul and profit the world? What good is it for man? Something like that, but there is no good for it. You know what I'm saying? There's no good for it at all. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you do smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, especially since you watched to this point. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one, and we're going to catch them in the next one.